Ladies and gentlemen, those between and those far out, long-time viewers and newcomers alike, welcome back to the U Idaho Esports Twitch channel. My name is Kaz Phoenix, and I'm joined here today by Dr. Blaine Eckles, Vice Provost and Dean of Students for the University of Idaho.
Go Vandals.
Blaine, welcome to the couch. It's lovely to talk to you again.
Absolute
lovely to have
pleasure
you in
to
a
be
more
here,
formal setting. I think
Formal
this
and more
is-
relaxed setting,
Oh,
actually.
yeah.
So this is really chill environment. I love it.
I'm glad you do. We have the couches over here. It's a very nice set, I would argue, and
It's
I believe
great.
that this is your first time. You've seen the lab before in previous iterations,
I
but
have.
is this your first time here this semester?
It is. Well, I was in here a few days ago, but as far as a formalized event, yes, this is my first time visiting an event where we're actually going to be in competition and whatnot. So I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
So I will hand the talking stick to you. I know a few things about you already, of course, but
Yeah.
I'll let you introduce yourself, talk about your role here for a little bit. Anything else you'd like to share in a brief little bio?
Sure. So, yeah, I'm the Vice Provost for Student Affairs, Dean of Students. I have a portfolio that spans from the Esports program that we have here on campus, which I'm really proud of everything that's happening down here through your efforts, through Wayne's efforts, and everybody else, and what we're doing to grow a great experience for students. But it also, my responsibilities include our Student Recreation Center, our health clinic, our counseling center, fraternity and sorority life student involvement, the Dean of Students office, obviously, where we have student discipline, the non-fun stuff that people we have to deal with from time to time.
The bureaucratic duties.
The bureaucratic things, the children's center. So we do a lot of different things here, and you know, the joke I like to refer to is all the things students are doing outside of class, usually doing something with one of our programs. And so really excited about that. And you know, part of my goal is just to create different ways and opportunities for students to get involved on campus. And our esports program is a shining example of a successful program that we've started over the last few years that really helps bring opportunities for students to connect with one another, engage, and really stimulates their passion and helps them see that video gaming is more than it used to be. I mean, I'm a child of the 70s where Pong was the thing, you know, and then Pac-Man and Atari and all the things you did in isolation. And today, it's not about isolation. It's about engagement and community. And that's the beautiful thing about our esports program.
I would argue very similar things. I talk about it like literally all the time. That what is super awesome about this program now is it's now become more of a place of like we're trying to, like, obviously it's still a very competitive environment, but we're also trying to stray away from that and be like, if you are a gamer, you can be here.
Right.
I believe I was talking to Maya a couple days ago during her interview of how it's like, you know, I spend a lot of time alone when I game. So, you know, some people still do this stuff in isolation, but
Sure.
we exist to give those kinds of people a place to be like, hey, you don't have to be in isolation. There are places to go. There are places to engage with. I think that's super special.
Well, we all need our downtime too, and
Of course.
I don't think there's anything with wrong with inherently gaming alone. But if you're exclusively doing that, especially while you're a university student, then you're missing out on a rich, vibrant opportunity to get involved and connect with others who have very similar interests, very similar skill sets, and someone that might help you become a better gamer. I mean, and that's or some of the production experience that you can get from communications or some of the technical things. We want to develop students to find their passion so they can move into a career field doing something similar and whatnot. And, you know, like we were talking about before the production, I'm also really proud of some of the supports we're putting in place to help students be academically successful, because while we want students involved, we don't want them involved to the point where their academics are suffering as well, too. So there's a benefit to doing this, but students got to work with us on that.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, before the production, I was talking to Blaine about our academic support program that we have for the esports program, that our students, some forced, some voluntarily, choose to participate in, that, you know, kind of helps us maintain our academics on top of the performance stuff. Obviously, those things have to go hand in hand. We do have a GPA requirement for players and stuff like that, right? But, you know, we have to enforce that in some way. But we also don't want to make it seem like it's impossible to stay on top of those things. For me, you know, sometimes it's a little debilitating. You have a lot of work and you don't really know how to balance it. And
Yeah.
Having those systems in place can really help you put things into a certain perspective and be like, okay, I know what I need to do in order to get things done.
Yeah, troubleshooting and learning how to manage your schedule, whether it's working or being involved in a club or organization or esports, it's a skill set you got to learn to develop. I mean, I use myself as an example. When I graduated high school, I had a 3.6 GPA, never anything less than a B in my life. And my first semester at college, I failed 2 classes. And it's because I didn't know how to prioritize my time. I didn't know how to put the study skills. I had really bad study habits in place, and I was easily distracted by, in my time, playing ultimate frisbee, playing basketball with my friends, watching movies, renting them, back in the day, and all that kind of stuff. And so helping students learn those skill sets, I think, is a critical thing. And having incentives, i.e., yep, we want you in this program, but you got to do these things too. That kind of forces students to kind of engage and learn those skills.
Yeah, very well said. Now, I'll do a little bit more about you, which, from what I was able to find, not too much. Usually, I'm able to go into these interviews with, a little bit of knowledge of my talents, work history. But for you, it's you worked at Boise for, 4 years as their associate dean of students.
Yep.
And then in 2015, you came here. And as of last May, it's going to make that 10 years now here in Moscow.
So I actually started my professional career in higher education at the University of Oregon. Worked there for about 6 months. Then I transferred out to Boise State, where I worked there for 20 years. Started off working in disability services, and then over the 20 years, progressed up through multiple different roles, where I ultimately ended up leaving that position as the associate dean of students. And I came up here 10 years ago, this last July, actually, as the dean of students. A year into my tenure, I then was promoted to the vice provost for student affairs, and so I've been kind of doing that ever since. So I love working, and I also have a doctorate from the U of I, so I love working at an institution. First of all, I love working at a land grant institution, which is really about the student experience. It's just fantastic, and we're a residential campus as well, so our students bring the vibrancy, they bring the energy, they bring the fun, quite frankly. It's just incredible working at this institution. I also like being in a small college town because I had a student tell me several years ago, he goes, Dean Eckles, the reason why I like Moscow so much in the U of I is where else within a 2 square mile radius can you find about 10,000 other students between the ages of 18 and 22? I love that. And so that makes it a lot of fun for students to be here. Plus, you have weeks like this, which is homecoming. Happy homecoming, by the way.
Yeah.
We have a lot of different things that students do. Tonight we've got Serpentine at 8 o'clock, walks right through campus, goes over to a great bonfire, traditional fireworks show tonight at 9 o'clock, homecoming parade through downtown tomorrow, football game, just a lot of different ways for students to get involved.
That's super awesome. You are actually not the only person who has talked about how the University of Idaho being a land-grant institution helps shape what the culture is here. Right, about how it's very much students first, and we're doing everything to enrich the student experience. And obviously with the things that you do, I mean, again, vice provost of student affairs, that is your whole job.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's super important to acknowledge those kinds of things. Obviously we work a lot with students at the forefront of everything we do, right? Yep. We don't do anything without considering how this affects the students, because the students are our players, they're our participants. Right. Those are the people that we work with all day. And the people that we literally work alongside all day. Our coworkers, all of our employees are work study for the most part. Besides our graduates, alum vandals who have been working with the program for a few years as well. Yeah. That still, we work under that same guise. But I wanted to ask, because I also usually have a foundation about this. You said that you originally started off in Oregon in higher education. I want to ask you both, where are you originally from? Where did you do your undergrad? Where did you get your master's? But then also, how did you know that you wanted to go into higher education?
That's a great question. So I grew up an Air Force brat. And so for probably 18 years of my life, I moved all around the country, went to 3 different junior highs, 3 different high schools, 6 different states. My parents were originally from Oregon. Mm-hmm. So when my dad retired, I ended up moving with my parents to Oregon. Never been to Oregon, never lived in Oregon. I was born in Virginia and lived in a lot of states in between Oregon and Virginia, including Hawaii, which was a lot of fun, by the way. I really enjoyed that. So when I graduated high school, I spent 2 years in high school in Oregon. I then applied to the University of Oregon. And I got my undergraduate degree from the U of O. Really loved it. Had a great time. Again, another residential campus, a little bit larger than the U of I from that standpoint. I went on and got my master's degree from Western Oregon University in counseling. Really enjoyed that. But I never thought about working in higher education at all, from my undergraduate even to my graduate degree, until I did an internship. And this is why I'm a huge fan of students doing internships, because you can explore different things without actually committing your professional careers to doing it. And so I always thought I would work at a hospital, a mental health clinic, and I did internships at those, and I realized I don't like doing that at all. I don't want to do that.
That's the big thing that internships kind of teach you.
Oh, they totally teach you. And I always thought I would do trauma therapy and things like that. That is hard work. I mean, I give total props to our counseling center. They do amazing work, but that's a lot of emotional baggage, a lot of emotional responsibility to work with. And so I learned what I was good at and what I wasn't good at. I am really good at communicating with folks. Therapy I can do, but is not a calling for me. So then through another internship, I got a job working at a university while I was in graduate school, and I loved it. And so I started doing more work there and ended up applying for a job in the Disability Services Office. I like working with people with disabilities, like creating access and creating opportunities for folks who otherwise might not have them. And so that's how I got my foot into higher education, got a job at the U of O. Then after 6 months working there, I applied to a position out at Boise State. Never been to Idaho other than driving through it. Ended up getting that job, and lo and behold, I did that and loved it for many years. And then through my time working in disability services at Boise State, I kept getting opportunities to take on additional responsibility. And that's one piece of advice I always give to young professionals is never say no. Excuse me.
No, I get it.
Never say no to opportunities. You might have to work harder, but take on responsibilities and do so without the expectation you're going to get paid more, because you will be recognized if you're doing a good job. They're not asking you to do it because you're a slacker. They're asking you to do it because you're responsible. And that is how I grew professionally over time. I created opportunities for myself through hard work, through dedication, and always saying, yes, yep, I'll do that. Yep, I'll do that. Yep, I'll do that. And, it's hard to do, but it pays off in the long run. And so that's how we built up my professional portfolio over time. And I love working in higher education, love working with college students. I clearly get older. I'm definitely much, much older, but I still work with young, vibrant minds, and that helps keep me young as well, too. And maybe not physically young, but definitely mentally young, and it's very stimulating for me.
Yeah, I'd argue one of those is more important than the other anyway, right?
Well, the health is pretty important, too.
Well,
You don't want to let that get out of hand.
Yeah. Now, we are running out of time, so I'm going to try and make this a little bit shorter. But I do have one final question before I segue over to the game for the night. And that is, it's homecoming weekend. I was passing by the Welcome Center upstairs. Obviously, a lot of students are seeing the campus for the first time this weekend and probably out throughout the rest of the semester from this point as well. Do you have any words of advice or just words of encouragement for anybody who's considering the University of Idaho, or maybe just reasons why they should consider becoming a Vandal?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of finding a place where they feel passionate about. I think, one of the things I always tell students is go where you see yourself being successful. So many students will come here like, I don't want to live here. It's too far away from home or something. But I always tell students, don't look at the physical location as the barrier. Look at, do you see yourself fitting there? Do you see opportunities for you to grow? We have an amazing undergraduate research program. We have amazing opportunities for students to get involved in great cohort experiences, whether through its esports, our band, through the music department, you name it, theater. There's so many different ways to get involved and find those communities that are going to be supporting and sustaining you, because that's how you're going to be most successful. So find the places that are going to just fan the flames of interest for you. And that's the most important thing you do. If it's not here, then hopefully it's somewhere else, because we need people that are more passionate about what they're learning and getting involved in than not. But don't overlook it just because of the physical location of where we're at. And there's something to be said about being in a residential campus where the students bring the vibe, the students bring the energy, because it is stellar here. It's absolutely amazing. And I just wish I had learned more about the U of I when I was an undergrad, when I was graduating high school. I hadn't heard anything about it, and I was over in Oregon. But man, I love it. This is an amazing place, and it's students like you that just really make it incredible.
I appreciate that. It also kind of reminds me of Garrett's answer from yesterday. Garrett Britton, who works in video production, we had on the show yesterday.
Garrett's great.
Yeah, we talked to him, and he went to Wazoo for his undergrad and worked in Washington for a while. He had no idea U of I even existed, and he lived right across the border. So it really goes to show, like, it's worth doing a little bit of extra research, right? Yeah. It's worth willing to look a little bit deeper into the areas around you to feel like, is this somewhere that you want to be, and like, what are your opportunities for growth and success here? So I feel like you said that absolutely wonderfully. Now,
and I'll just say real quick, for any prospective students that might be watching or listening, definitely come check out the Esports Lab. Talk to the students here. Find out how they are feeling passionate about what they're doing here, because every time I come here, they're laughing, they're having a lot of fun, but they're competing at optimal levels. And it's just, I'm so proud of everything that they're doing here. And you can be part of this experience too and help us grow it. I want more students involved with esports than less.
Great read. I love it. Well, Blaine, Dr. Eckles, Dr. Dean Blaine
Soon it'll
Eckles.
be Dr. Kaz.
We'll see. We're getting there. We gotta get to the bachelors first.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope the couch was comfortable.
This was fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, I'm glad you got to see the space again. Obviously, it's a blast getting to introduce new people down to the space. For now, I will be segueing us out to the caster room, who are going to get you started on tonight's action. Our League of Legends varsity team is going to be playing and do scold me if I pronounce it wrong, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute over in Troy, New York. Very fabulous place with hopefully some fabulous players that you'll get to see on the Rift tonight, but I will be transitioning us out. And from the caster corner, that's going to be, the analytic corner, that's going to be it for me. So have a nice night. Enjoy the action. Have a good weekend. Enjoy homecoming for those of you in town. And from Blaine and I, V's up. Go Vandals.
Go Vandals.